Tipping points are the points of no return, beyond which the Earth systems reorganize, and they can often do so abruptly and irreversibly. The full impacts might not happen overnight, but once the ball starts rolling, it can't be stopped. That's what a tipping point means. And what happens with Greenland and Antarctica ice sheets, Amazon rainforest, essential ocean currents are some of the potential tipping points we've looked into in this report. If they're crossed, the impacts could be indeed disastrous. It's not just a case of what we're already seeing at a regional level with droughts, wildfires, floods, everything kind of increasing in severity and frequency. It's kind of that on steroids. At a global scale too, tipping points are not isolated systems. And if you tip one element, it can have a kind of cascading effect, tipping other elements. So you start right up in the Arctic Circle and end up through the ocean currents right down in Antarctica, a truly vicious circle. The changes would have too big an impact on our socioeconomic, our ecological systems to allow humans to adapt, or indeed animal life to adapt, and would wreak quite immense negative consequences on human and natural systems. So one example, we're talking about the potential collapse of the West Antarctic and Greenland ice sheets, the melting of permafrost grounds in the Antarctic. Scientists now say these are considered likely, even within the temperature guardrails of the Paris Agreement, the 1.5 degree goal. So if that happened, it could cause several additional meters of irreversible sea level rise. And we've been talking about rises in the parts of a centimetre, so several additional meters is pretty massive. We know that the greater part of the world's population lives in cities, and a lot of these cities are in coastal areas. So the effect on heavily populated areas would be considerable, as well as resulting in a feedback loop with additional greenhouse gas releases, leading to yet more warming and pushing us closer to more of those tipping points. The other thing that has to be taken into account and hasn't been so far is the economic costs. Those for a long time have been really underestimated because economic modelling has left tipping points out of their projections. And now we're seeing studies that show that tipping points could increase the costs of climate change by up to a factor of 8. And we already know we're talking about trillions in terms of costs.